So yeah, hi. Hi everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you these days on the Cosmoverse. Today our talk is about liquid staking that is so hot right now, right? And in the Cosmos ecosystem, you can hear like this term again and again on all of the talks and like panels and stuff like that. And today, basically, we are not going to talk about like any specific liquid staking implementation, but we want to address the question of what is like actually make the liquid staking good or bad solution for the like ecosystem, right? And I want to talk to you that we want to raise a discussion, right? So we don't want to give you an answers. We just want to raise a discussion because who we are to give actually the answers for the whole ecosystem. Basically, who we are. So my name is Turin. This is my photo like before the Terra crash. I'm look pretty different these days.
Yeah, and my name is Sergey, and that's my photo when 72 proposal passed.
So yeah, and we are from the P2P. P2P is a long-term Cosmos partner. We are validating Cosmos Hub since the very genesis. We are the winners of like previous Game of Zones, and we made like several other contributions in the different part of the ecosystem. So we're very bullish on Cosmos. We're really interested in its success, and I think we really understand what Cosmos is all about. And besides that, we are a big contributor to Lido. So P2P right now maintains the Lido on Solana solution. We previously maintained the Lido on Terra solution. That was like pretty huge DeFi protocol on the Cosmos chain. So I think that we actually have a pretty good experience in liquid staking, and that is why we are talking about that. But before switching to the liquid staking topic, let's take a look on the state of the vanilla native staking in the Cosmos. Let's take a look at the example of the Cosmos Hub. If we will take a look of how the stake is distributed on the Cosmos Hub, we will see like the 51% of stake is actually distributed among the 12 validators. That might be not perfect, right? But like the most important problem that we have actually is, and that is what actually makes the Cosmos kind of unique, is that Cosmos is not, in Cosmos validation is not only about like the sign-in block, it's not like only about producing, right? It's about governance, right? Because in Cosmos we have like representative democracy, and validators have the voting power to like actually develop the ecosystem. And if we will take a look at the like distribution of those 51% of stake, we will see that 17% of voting power is actually never used. So we kind of have a room for improvement. The question is why, right? Because why we came up like with this kind of situation. The thing here is that vanilla native staking it actually tends towards the centralization. And when we're talking about centralization, first of all, we are talking about centralized solutions. Why centralized solutions are so attractive for users? Because they have a perfect UX for users, right? So you buy your tokens, you stake them, enjoy your APR. And actually, on centralized solution, you have like your tokens basically. Your staked tokens basically liquid, because like centralized solutions often like use the buffer to like make the withdrawals available. That slightly reduce the APR, but provides a very good user experience. And with like vanilla native staking, you should do like the whole process of like installing your wallet, creating your seed phrase, backing it up, and stuff like that. And the most important point here is pick. So you should pick a validator. You should do a research. You should like understand basically which validator you should delegate your assets to, right? And a lot of users obviously don't want to make it like this choice. They just want their APR to be high. So they either choose like one of the top validators, or they choose like the validators with a zero commission. Hello, proposal 76. So yeah, what we can do about it? We see that liquid staking as an alternative here, right? Because for the users, it's still the kind of attractive user experience, right? Because you can stake your assets, like the DeFi possibilities like are open for you. Like it's pretty straightforward. You don't need to choose validators or stuff like this. And it's actually pretty important for the ecosystem because liquid staking has an ability to manage the validator set, right? And what we think about is that while liquid staking actually have an ability to manage the validator set and kind of fix the problem of native staking, we think that liquid staking solution must solve this problem because liquid staking is not like one more DeFi protocol on the ecosystem, right? It's pretty close to the heart of the ecosystem, to the staking, to the things that make blockchain secure, and security is what it's all about, right? So when we're building the liquid staking solution, we actually faced two main problems because liquid staking is two-sided thing. And the first side is for the users, right? So we need to provide the good liquidity for users so they could actually unstake their assets instantly by selling it on the DEXs and stuff like that. And the other side is to the ecosystem where we are doing actual validator management. And for now, because we're talking about like the ecosystem health, we will focus on the second part. So there are like different approaches to handle the validator set management, like unopinionated one, based on the on-chain data only, and like fully created by the protocol fully created by the protocol sets. Let's go for them one by one. First approach is unopinionated management. It's basically when we allow for users to choose the validators that they want their assets to be staked to. This approach has benefits, right? Because it's still liquid staking, it still pushes the DeFi ecosystem forward, it still makes your token liquids, but it has nothing to do with the centralization issue, right? Because we still like really the same issue that we have in the vanilla staking. And this is like what we faced when we developed the Lido on Terra thing. So the ability to choose the validator leads like our stake to be hugely imbalanced. So we fixed it in the further versions, but like we have a real experience of what is it all about. So at best, like this approach can be neutral to the ecosystem, so it just doesn't make it worse, right? And the second approach, on-chain data only. So this approach is when we, like, our protocol just gathers the data from the chains that is available, chains that is trustless, and manage the validator set based on this data. So, like, first of all, it manages the actual list of validator, right? So it can like add validators there or remove there, and it actually make the distribution of stake based on this data. This approach is like looks pretty, right? Because code is king here, right? So it's very trustless and so on. But it has like really huge drawbacks. And those drawbacks are that not everything that we want to measure can be measured in a quantitative way. Like the pretty obvious example is governance once again, because we cannot make a metric for validator if like it's good in governance or not. We can like understand that it's like bad in governance, if it just doesn't vote at all. But we cannot understand if like validator makes wise choices and stuff like this in only quantitative manner, right? And also, the on-chain data that we have is very limited. We have no information about like how the monitoring works, how the key management works, where is it like validators are located, and stuff like that. So, at the end of the day, this approach tends to centralization once again, but not in centralization in terms of like using the centralized solutions, but in terms of optimizing for performance. Because when validators are trying to optimize for the performance, they tend to use like the pretty same like cloud providers and stuff like that, and it actually like increases the performance, but it makes a huge risk for blockchain to be halted because of like the censorship risk and stuff like that, and also it addresses like the risk of the like Sybil attacks because based on the on-chain data we cannot understand like for those two validators to be the same entity or not. So yeah, this approach has pretty obvious drawbacks. And I said enough about the problems, and Sergey will try to tell you about like what we can do better here.
So, what is a good validator set. So the approach is pretty intuitive. The stakes should be distributed well, so we don't have disbalance. Validators should perform well and be active in governance. But if we look at the drawbacks of naive approach, we can see that that's not as easy as it is. So let's say we have all validators hosted on some one particular cloud hosting, and what if it goes down? Or even if we kind of okay with white label validators, what if solution provider just decide that they don't like Cosmos anymore? Or even if we have all the validators hosted on the same jurisdiction and they got regulated. So that is really complex. We can utilize like curated set solution. So it may give us a better picture of network. So because it uses off-chain data, but to retrieve off-chain data, you need people, and that's really expensive. Because if we talk about especially interchain liquid staking, you have to analyze all the networks, all the validator sets, and retrieve this data. So more networks, more data, more people. How we can improve it? We can mix, we can use blended sets which combine benefits from some approach, and we can learn from other solutions and make Cosmos liquid staking even better. So, what is blended sets? It's just mix of approaches. So we can use permissionless list and curated set on top of each other. Like we have a permissionless application, so any validator can apply, and if it fits some defined criteria, he goes to the list. So when a particular validator performs well, it goes to the curated list by governance decision. Also, there is a scoring system for validators. So we can analyze on-chain data and combine this data into one particular score or number, and this way we can like onboard more validators without doing this manually. This way also network security preserved because we have scoring system which distributes stakes only to well-performed validators. Yeah, even if we have really performant validator, it can have like very, very word decision on governance. So in vanilla staking, it's really easy. So user can redefine validators vote, and that's it. In liquid staking, in Cosmos liquid staking model, it's not directly possible. So particular liquid staking protocol can do it by its own. So but the solution would be really complex or even doesn't exist anymore. So it's really important to have this feature in Cosmos SDK. Usually in Cosmos, staking and governance tokens are the same, and that's an issue because low liquidity and market cap can cause possible attacks. So you can just capture governance, redelegate the stake, and redelegate stake to some entity, and then hold the system because governance tokens are the same as staking.
So yeah, and talking about the this model of separating the security token and the governance token, we already have the approach that is really natural for that. And this is the smart contracts approach. We truly believe that smart contracts, liquid staking based on smart contracts, could be very good here. First of all, because this separation token model. For smart contracts, it's much easier to fork the solution because any solution might become malicious at the end of the day, right? Because any DAO can decide that it can destroy Cosmos or whatever like that. And it's really hard to fork the zone actually because you need a new validator set, you need to be approved by interchain security or something like that. But for the smart contracts, you can just deploy your own solution based on the same smart contracts, and with a liquid staking module, the whole stake can be transferred overnight, right? And basically, smart contracts also give us a possibility to not be worried a lot about governance minimization because we cannot be scared about locking some parameters of the protocol because actually we want for underlying level to cover our back, right? And when we make it with a separate zone, the only thing we have is the social consensus. But if we make our solution based on smart contracts, the underlying level is the zone with its own governance, and it can cover our back, can take a look at us, and can be sure that we are not malicious, right? So we need the secure platform for that, and God bless, we have Neutron, right? The Neutron, from one side, is as secure as Cosmos Hub is, right? So we believe that it's a very good idea to secure the liquid staking solutions with a Cosmos validator set. And on the other side, Neutron has all of those IBC features that we need to make an interchain liquid staking solution, right? So if you're interested in Neutron, go and check it. And we truly believe that the approach that we have is very aligned with Lido vision of how to deal with this kind of stuff. So we made a lot of research, and we made the proposal to the Lido DAO to launch the Lido on Cosmos thing. It's still in the proposal stage, and we want to make it good. We want to make it healthy for the ecosystem, right? So that we need your opinion. So that if you agree with us or if you disagree with us, please go and leave your opinion on the Lido DAO forum, where our proposal is placed, and it also has the recap of our vision. So if you have any questions, you can try to catch us at the conference, or you can leave your questions on the forum, and we'll try to answer them basically. So thank you everyone. See you around.